Girl, slay the house down boots, mama.
Now that was a bad choice.
Right. No. Don't try to change the subject. Spill the tea.
Okay, but what was she expecting?
Well, that bitch is crazy.
Honestly, pop off. We should have talked first.
Can you blame her?
She should probably drink a little less. Literally. Well, let's get into it then. It's time to spill the tea with Damon B.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Spill the Tea with Damon B. I gotta rename the show because my grandma, she's back on with me. Hi,
Hi.
Grandma.
Hi. I think you should call it Spill the Tea with Damon B and Gigi.
And Gigi.
Graham.
Oh, oh my, that's actually hilarious. Okay, because you are the Robin to my Howard Stern.
Oh,
So,
thank you, Damon. That is what I've aspired to my whole life.
well, I had to grow up listening to Howard Stern in the car with you. So,
Exactly. And I keep telling you now, save it for the podcast, Damon.
save it for
Don't say
every.
anything funny.
So, me and my grandma rarely call each other now since she's been on the pod because we gotta save it for the podcast.
everything's for the air, as Howard Stern would say.
If that camera's not rolling, what you
Don't
say doesn't matter.
exactly. Don't say a word. Don't say
Don't
anything funny.
save
Uh,
it for the cameras. Okay, so Grandma had this idea to talk about climate change and recycling this episode. Um
uh,
I don't know if
okay.
we're gonna be on the same page or
Well,
why
I'm
don't
not
you
sure we will be because that's a great generational. If we're going to do this podcast together, I think if we're trying to hit an audience, it's interesting. My generation versus your generation and what
well
we're
you're
all looking at.
well, you were a smoker, so your
I
generation's
was.
just threw butts on the ground.
We did.
Um I well, you still do. I'm just kidding.
Oh, you still do, right?
I've never been a smoker. So
I mean, your generation now is throwing the butts on the ground. Although, no, now it's called
no, we're
vape.
vaping. Yeah, we're
And yeah,
vaping.
well, we could get into a whole conversation about that, but
Well,
we'll
we are. We're gonna get into it right
all right, let's do it.
Oh my god.
Get
Okay,
ready.
what are your thoughts about recycling in general?
Um, I will say that I am a person who believes that the earth is very important and we need to do everything that we can to keep it clean. And we need to recycle. But on that note, I don't feel like we're doing anything. I feel like we're worse now than we were when I was your age or younger. I think the garbage that we have now and plastic is just over the top.
Oh, I totally agree. For some reason, I was like, this bitch is gonna say climate change isn't real. Recycling's a waste of time. I for real was just like,
You were
she's gonna
waiting
come in
for it.
hot. Oh yeah, I was getting ready. I was like, okay, I gotta rein myself in because she's gonna be like, recycling stupid. Like, so okay. Well, I'm glad you said that because I totally agree 100%. Um, Humans are horrible for this earth. If there's no humans, the world would be thriving. Like, just,
Oh
I think it would
yeah.
just be
Yeah, there's
thriving.
actually a where the divide is between North and South Korea. I'll just bring this up for instance. There has been no people in that area, and it's an area that is you're not allowed. I'm just going to shut my speaker off here.
Oh,
People are not allowed and haven't been since the Korean or the since the war, and it is thriving. It is beautiful there. The animals are thriving. The vegetation is thriving. Everything is thriving in this area where there are literally no people and no people can be there. So yes, I think the world itself would be a much better place without us on it. That being
Yes.
said, that's not reasonable.
Well,
But
just kidding. Well,
I think, you know, where we're headed, it's probably going to be reasonable because anyway, don't get me started on that, but, um, I think also that people talk out of one side of their mouth about this, recycling and, doing this and doing that, and then they do something else, and that drives me insane with the times we live in now.
are you talking about hypocrisy
Very
or
much so, and I
okay?
find that it's your generation in a sense that is
Wha uh,
hypocrite.
you know
At
what?
least we threw our cigarette butts on the ground and said, "Hey, we're doing it." We didn't say, "Oh, we're not," and then go do it, you
Right,
know,
right. See,
okay?
well, I recycle, but and I've had the same water bottle for I think like 4 years. I try to use
Mhm,
reusable water bottles whenever I can. However, if I'm out and I don't have a drink and I'm thirsty and there's a Dollarama, best believe I'm going in and buying a bottle of water or a
right.
bottle of iced tea.
And I don't
Li
have an issue with that because, you know, if you are out,
Yeah.
people would buy like a pop or I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is people that don't want to drink their city chlorinated water because they don't like it or
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what it is why they won't drink their water. Um, you know, with all the Britas and things like that out there, I don't
I have a
get.
Brita. I have a
Right,
Brita. Yay
right, so
me.
you can run your water through your Brita and your chlorine taste goes away, and you don't need to use 500 plastic bottles. I can't even like, that to me is the devil of all garbage is the plastic water bottle.
That's true. That is so true. Cause I used to go to the college with my grandparents and my cousins, like, every summer, and
Mhm,
just cases of water.
mhm,
Oh my god, go through and you know what's crazy? It's like, now there's a well that's in town, like, a nearby town, so we'll take up jugs, like,
mhm,
empty jugs, and we'll just fill them
mhm.
up with well water, and I'm like, "You we should have been doing this for
The whole
years."
time, right, and it's
Yeah.
probably been there the whole time.
Well,
Um
yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
So there are I know that there are instances where people live places, that they can't drink the water or it's unsafe or it's, you know, been proven to have, you know, bacteria and problems. I understand that and I would not, you know, I'm not suggesting anybody drink bad water, but so many people just don't drink it because they don't like the taste of it or
Mm.
somebody's told them that chlorine is not good for you. Well, neither is McDonald's, folks. Just saying. Fast food is not good for you. I don't care where it comes from.
Oh, and the
So,
packaging from fast food places. Let's
oh,
talk about that.
oh,
The
oh,
garbage. Oh, the land.
oh, but let's
Okay,
give you um, a cardboard straw so that everybody feels good. Okay,
right.
and your
Uh,
cardboard straw gets all mushy in your drink, but you can feel good now that like I can't comprehend it. There's so much I could say about this. If you want me to keep going, I'll keep going.
unless you're giving me a biodegradable juice box, don't give me any liquid.
Right. Right. And
Don't.
stop.
Oh, let's get on the topic. Reusable bags versus plastic bags.
I think it's
Oh,
great.
oh, I
You what do
okay.
you think? What do you think? Go.
So at first, I was like, "Oh my god, this is an amazing idea. I love
Mhm.
it. This is gonna save the world." Now I'm just like, "Holy fuck, I forgot my reusable bags. I'm gonna have to buy another
Right.
like 5, and I got
Okay.
150
All
at
right. Well, that's
home."
on you.
Okay, but here's the thing. I've seen people started to use them as plastic bags and they start throwing them, they put their trash inside, they throw them out because they got so many and they don't have plastic bags anymore. So I've seen people picking up dog shit with them
But
and throwing them out.
they do break down eventually, right?
Do they
I'm
really?
assuming, yes,
I
like, you can
I
use those that's the same material as it is that you would use, to stop weeds from growing on the ground, like, you can actually use those bags, lay them
Oh,
down, and they'll eventually, decompose. So they
okay.
are a good thing. Um, yeah, it's annoying, and it was at first annoying, and I found the same thing, and I just kept, um, you know, berating myself how stupid I am for not bringing my bags in. And then now what I do if I don't bring my bags into the grocery store, I take the cart out with the groceries, single items, and I have to pack it in my car, like pack the bags in my car, whether it's raining, snowing, and that's how I punish myself for being stupid.
This sounds like the rubber band method when you put a
Yes.
rubber band on
Yes.
and when you want a cigarette and you
Yes.
snap the rubber band,
Or a
you punish
mousetrap.
yourself. Or a mouse what? Okay,
I was a hardcore
so
smoker.
yeah. For got the good old mousetrap. Now I'm down to 1 piece of Nicorette gum a
Oh,
day.
exactly.
Um, so for people without a car, um, that's trouble because when
Right.
I here's the thing. If I go to work and on my way home, I'm like, "Oh, I need to pick up eggs or something like that." Luckily, I have my bag where I can pick a few items and stuff them in
Mm,
my work bag.
mhm,
But I'm just like, when I see a good deal, and I'm
mm.
just like, you go to the grocery
Yeah,
store for 2 things, you come out with 20.
yeah.
And I'm just like, then when I get to the like checkout counter, I'm like, okay, let's be realistic, Damon. You can't carry all this home.
And can we just stop for 1 second and suggest to all grocery store owners that they put carts in the middle of the store? How many times have you went into a store, right? You
Yeah,
walk in for
exactly.
2 things, and I am juggling, like, and
Yeah.
dropping, and because I've got 50 things in my arms, and okay, even more so, let's talk to God for a moment.
Not
Let's
Jesus.
No, I'm going straight to the big fella here.
Okay.
Why did he only make us with 2 arms and 2 hands? I'll never comprehend that, ever in my
I
whole life.
I remember this conversation
This is
when
a
I was just
design
like
flaw.
I remember asking my grandmother, I think like if you thought God was real or whatever, and you said if God was real, he would have made me with 8 arms because this 2 arms are bullshit.
Exactly. It's exactly true. Because, when you as a mother, especially as a woman, and you're at home with a baby, and you're expected to cook and clean well, maybe not now. You guys are so lucky, is all split the chores and whatever.
Right.
Anyway, back in my day
Equality.
yeah, okay. Um, you're carrying around a baby, and you're doing this, and you're making bottles, and it's no wonder children get hurt. That's
Well, it's
all I have
because
to say.
I just want to point out that you guys were probably on the phone because all women are like hens. They just cluck, cluck, cluck.
Oh,
Just
exactly. Exactly right, David. You got it. Especially back then.
I think I quoted that from my grandfather, actually.
Okay, enough of that. So
Um,
let's get back to it. So you forget your bag.
yeah.
Now you get to the store and you have nothing. Now I found these amazing little um and I don't know if it could work for you, but they're
Mhm.
little bags that you fold up and you put into this little tiny bag that clips to your you could clip it to your computer bag or whatever you're carrying. And then if you
Gay.
I
I'm
know
just
it's gay.
kidding.
It is
Gay
gay. It's
bags.
really gay. But I'm telling you that bag has come in so handy so many times. I'm recommending it to you and anyone else.
Question, is it one of those, like, I wanna say, like, a dog poop keeper bag, like, where it's, like, a plastic thing, and then you just
No.
shove a whole bunch of bags inside, and then you just
No. No,
Oh,
this is like
okay.
a travel it's got a clip on it. It's a little tiny like a tiny envelope almost, and then
Oh.
inside of it, you fold up your bag. The thing is, when you get home and you take your groceries out, you gotta fold that thing right up and put it back into
Yeah,
the
because 'cause you'll
envelope.
forget.
Right, right, so you gotta be
Mhm.
on top of that, and I found over the years, when I was your age, I couldn't do anything like that.
Oh,
I
me
couldn't
either.
remember anything, and now I'm so meticulous, I'm turning into my own father.
Oh,
So
well, I felt bad the other day when I seen my other grandma. I was in the back seat with her purse, and she asked me if I could hand her chapstick. I about lost my damn mind. I
really?
was just I had a headache. I was like, "Chapstick? Now? Really?" I was just I felt so bad afterwards, and I was like, "I'm sorry." We went on a 4-hour hike, and then we're in
Oh,
the car, like, driving home.
ugh,
I'm thirsty, I have a headache, and she's like, "Do you mind just passing me my chapstick?" Like, a simple request, and I'm like, "Seriously? Chapstick? Now? You can't wait?" I felt so bad afterwards, but you're so right, I was like, I don't "Are you kidding me? You asked me for the smallest thing." I'm like,
yeah.
"Seriously?
Yeah, yeah,
Seriously?"
when I was young, I was the same way, so I do see how it affects you, and as time goes on, it's just like cleaning your room.
Oh,
Eventually, you realize that if I just keep my room clean, then it's not as hard as it is when it's just a mess all the time. So eventually, you do get to that
I'm starting to find that
place.
now, like,
Yeah.
I'm doing laundry, I everything has a spot now,
Mhm.
w and I don't know, I don't think most straight guys, I wanna say, are like that because or spilling tea here, when I go for my hookups that,
Oh
you
god.
know, never been with a guy, and their rooms are just a mess, and I'm just like, "If I died here, like, no one would find my body." Like
Well, and I think that has a lot to do less with straight or gay and more with how your mother raised you. And I think your
Oh,
mother, you had some responsibility in the home and with cleaning.
mm,
And now you may not have kept your room so clean then, but as you
yeah.
go out on your own, those little things come back to you and you tend to.
Well, I will say when I was in university, I didn't care. My room was a disaster. I
Yeah.
would like, but now that I'm like living by myself in an apartment, I have my all my boxes unpacked. It did take me a while. It took me a few, quite a few months actually. But now I'm
Yeah.
like, I have everything. Everything has a spot, and then I'm like, let me whip up these dishes. Like I just made supper. Let me whip these up real quick so I don't have to worry about these.
Right,
So
right, so that all comes with a little bit of maturity and a little bit of learning that you don't wanna deal with it the next day, right?
right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So speaking of recycling, let's
Mhm.
go back.
Okay, let's go
Yeah.
back to our we always do this, we get off topic completely.
Yeah, but I bring us back because you are the moth and I am the flame, and so I'm just
Okay.
um, okay, what are we thinking about cans? Now, are cans okay, or is it just bottles?
Okay, here's what I when I was young, we
Right.
had pop bottles, right? Glass bottles. Now, glass
Glass.
actually is made out of sand, okay, and then it's made into glass, and I feel like if it's smashed, it eventually goes back to some form of sand. They used to take the bottles in and
Right.
rinse the bottle, like wash them, sterilize them, and
Yeah,
reuse them. I don't get why we can't do that. Now, I know
that's
why, because
true.
they switched it all to plastic. Somebody is making a shit ton of money on plastic, and they just the facilities to switch it back over would be enormous and would not be as lucrative to these plastic people. And
Yeah,
I know that the people who own these plastic companies are people of my generation, and that makes me upset.
call them up.
But
I'm just
then it's
kidding.
your generation that is buying and not making more of a fuss to stop this because it's insane. Like this, I can't. Like we have, there's only two of us here, and the amount of plastic that we have once a week is just out of this world. And I've
Well,
seen shows where they're showing that they've got these, facilities full of plastic bottles and nowhere to put them or take them.
I will say, I can only do so much for my own generation. I can only put out so many tweets.
Exactly.
I'm just it's a real burden,
Okay.
actually. Um, no, but I totally get it because I think last year, the year before or something, there was big news of Canada, like, we were shipping our garbage off somewhere.
Yes, like, come
I was like,
on.
"What
What?
what is happening?" Like,
And we
ugh.
think in our okay, in our little worlds, we think, "Okay, we're putting our plastic out at the corner, that's being taken and melted down and put back into plastic." It's not.
Yeah,
It's
that's
that's not happening. And so all these bottles that we get are new bottles. And I'm not saying that a person wants a drink of water or pop or whatever when they're
Mhm.
out can't do that. But like use reusable water bottles. And you know what drove me absolutely crazy and I was in the fad for quite some time is these Keurigs, the coffee.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yep.
am so disgusted with those. Um, like I tried taking the lid off them, scraping out the stuff, and then you have these piles of plastic again. It's
Well,
crazy. I
they they did make a reusable Keurig pod, so you
Yeah,
could
well,
just
that's
put
what I have now is
Oh,
the
okay.
reusables, and I do
There we
that.
go.
So every day I'm scraping out my stuff, I'm washing it out and reusing it. And you know what? It was annoying at first, but now I'm happy to do it because I can't stand and and I just think of every household that has a Keurig in it. And then all these plastic pods that are going into this land, like into this wherever it's going. I don't know, throwing it in the ocean. I don't know what they do with it. I don't know.
See, I should making coffee at home in my coffee pot that I have,
Mhm.
it's not convenient whatsoever. I
I
don't
know.
like waiting for the water to boil.
I know.
Cause I gotta go. I'm not waking up 2 hours before work. I'm just like, I'm
So I
out the
think
door.
like Tim Hortons and places have switched to a paper coffee mug, which
No.
isn't
Well,
it?
my iced coffee comes in a
Is
plastic
plastic.
container,
Yeah, that's not
which
okay. Come on.
no, I know,
Why
and I'm
isn't
like,
it in a paper? Like,
well,
at least paper breaks down. If you throw that down on the ground, it's gonna eventually break down and not really affect the earth. Although I think the stuff that's in the paper and on the paper, I'm sure that's not good for anything.
yeah.
But it does break down eventually. Whereas this plastic, it's forever. It never
So
goes.
I remember my mom used to be a huge like recycling person, and she used to take me to the park, not to go play on the playground or go swimming in the water. We used to go pick up people's garbage and litter and throw it out for them and recycle. I literally this was like, who does that?
Well, that's good though. I mean, every
Yeah,
child should do that. And I said that like when you drive along the highways. It used to be, see, the prisoners used to take them out, which I'm sure they enjoyed getting outside, and they used to clean up along the highways. But then all of a sudden everybody has human rights and they don't have to do that anymore, which
I love that. All of a sudden,
all of a
someone brings
sudden,
human rights into
yeah,
it, and then
yeah.
we got no one picking up our garbage
Yeah,
anymore.
nobody's picking up the trash, so you see it along the side of the road. So then, your grandpa had the idea maybe kids from school should do it, and I said, "Well, why is it their fault that these drive people that drive vehicles are adults, are chucking their stuff out the windows, and you're gonna get the little kids to come and pick it all up?" I think that's crazy. I think that adults should know better. And my car, if you go out and look at it, always looks like a
Mhm.
dump because I will not throw anything out my windows ever. Nothing.
Yeah.
I'll bring it
Unless
home,
it's
sort it once every 6 months, and do what I have to do with it. Yeah.
pile it up in a room where I can't see it. Once I get the energy, once every 6 months, I go in there with 2 bags and I just get her done.
Yes, exactly. But here's what I have to say too about climate change and this climate tax.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to hear this?
Yeah, let's hear it.
It's gonna blow your mind.
For our listeners out there that are international, we're in Canada.
Right, and here's what I have to say about it.
Okay.
We put a tax on people, which you're paying, I'm paying, everyone who has, an income is
Mhm.
paying. If you have a car, you're paying for it. If you heat your house, you're paying this tax. And that goes towards helping the climate. And I am all for that. I don't even really have an issue with it. Here's my issue. Then
Okay.
we as a country turn around, go to the dollar store, go to all these even grocery stores and buy products made by countries that have no zero climate rules, right? So what we're doing with our we're giving this money to put into the climate. We're Canada. We are the largest country in the world, but the world is a big, big place. And so then we're turning around and buying products from places that are polluting the shit out of the world. So I don't get we're not really doing anything. Do you get what I mean? Our
No, I
little
get what
our
you
little
mean.
space in the world is doing nothing, and we're funding these places that aren't doing anything. So to me, if we're going to do this, let's cut those places off and make our own stuff, and maybe we'll have to go without a little bit of stuff, you know?
That's the
I don't
thing.
know.
I feel like I don't know. I feel I'm not saying Canada is a shitty country, but I feel like we'd be in the shitter without, buying all these cheap products from other countries.
Yeah.
Because,
Okay,
you
but
know,
that's why they're cheaper
yeah, I
because
know.
do you see what I mean? It's almost like a hamster wheel, and we're being fooled by, "Oh, we're gonna put in this climate tax," which at this day and age with the groceries, the price of them the way they are, I really feel
Oh,
for young families. If you're on your own, it's one thing, but if you have little children and you're trying to feed go to the grocery store, buy them proper foods, and then turn around and put a tax on your gas, on your heating, on and that but then expect you, not to shop the cheap products,
yep.
but what else can you buy? So it's
Oh,
it's a hamster wheel, and I hate it. I just that drives me nuts.
let's talk about the grocery bills just for a second. I
Mm,
went to the store the other day. So, I go to Tim's for my coffee. Sometimes I'll pick up an egg and cheese sandwich. So I was like, I'm gonna make my egg and cheese sandwiches at home.
mhm, mhm,
Outsmart the system, right?
right.
So I was I went to the brick cheese and I go, ooh, brick cheese is pretty expensive. Let
Mm,
me get the processed cheese because from what I remember, when last time like it was bought was years ago when I was in high school and it was like $2.50 or something.
yeah, right.
I go to the 15 slices of processed cheese or whatever wrapped up in plastic and
Mhm,
$7.50, which
right,
was more than the brick of cheese. And I'm like,
right.
what the fuck? I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
let me
It's
get two
insane
bricks of
right now.
cheese. Yeah, I went,
Mhm,
I got the two bricks of cheese for $10, froze one, and then just been shredding it so then I can
good.
just,
And that's probably better for you anyway. No matter how you do it, if you cook it at home, it'll be better for you than
yeah.
any fast food restaurant, because that's just garbage.
I know, but it's so good. They
I
put
know
like
it is.
butter,
I know.
put butter on.
We
That's
actually went to McDonald's the other night because I was just like, "I need their french fries." And
right.
I and
That's
I
the
don't
thing.
know what it
Oh,
is here. We have in the town closest to us, their
mhm.
McDonald's french fries are always hot. You know how you'll go some places and they're kinda cold and you're like, "Oh, this sucks."
Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Like,
like,
yeah.
I literally just came here for your fries and they're cold, and I'm not happy. Well, this restaurant here, you cannot lose. I don't know how it's happening. I don't know why it happens, but it happens every time. Hot french fries.
Hot French, just
Oh,
so. I've been to McDonald's before where it's too hot to put in your mouth. Like you can't touch them. Like
yes,
it'll burn because they
yes,
just came right out,
yes,
salted to perfection. But you can't
yes.
touch them yet. You gotta
No.
wait.
You gotta wait a bit, and it hurts your fingers. That's exactly how this restaurant is. I don't know if they see me coming. I don't know what it is, but
Well,
every time.
Grandpa just calls ahead of time and gets them to
Probably.
put a
He
fresh
must.
batch down.
He must, and threatens
He
with them with their lives, maybe.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Listen,
Something's happening.
I got a hangry woman in my car, and if she doesn't have hot french fries, there will be death.
There'll be problems.
There will be problems. Okay, speaking of fast food places, I had Chick-fil-A for the second time in my life this
Oh,
past
I've never
weekend.
had that.
Let me tell you something, grandmother.
Mhm. Now, I heard there's some issues there with if we're speaking about Chick-fil-A and some gay issues.
Oh, yeah, yeah, besides that, because I said
Oh,
I would never eat there,
okay.
let me
Alright, as
tell you,
long as you're
but
aware.
I put my issues aside because I was just like
Yeah, I gotta try it.
I was like, "I just wanna try their chicken sandwich." Let me tell you something, they could call me fag, they could call me gay, I they could spit in my face. That chicken sandwich is the best chicken sandwich I've ever had.
Oh my
After I
god. I
Let
gotta
me tell you
try
something,
this.
there's no condiments whatsoever, no condiments, and, um, it's just, like, buttered, like,
Oh,
sandwich
the
patty,
holy
and
grail of chicken.
a chicken, like, breast patty thing. It was the best chicken burger I've
Wow.
ever had, and I've had Popeyes, I've had KFC,
Right?
Popeyes, love Popeye. This chicken sandwich, I was like, "I can never eat here again. I'm gonna get so fat." I told myself I will never, ever, ever come back here because I'm not gaining back those 50
Well,
pounds.
I've heard that. I have heard that about that restaurant. I've heard all about the gay issues, and
Yes,
apparently the owners are
the C
homophobes.
it's the CEO or whatever, like, the
Yeah,
whoever
yeah.
well, every Chick-fil-A has Sunday off because of
Right,
the
right, for a religious
religion. Yeah,
purpose, right.
which I was
So
like, "Well, nice for employees to get the Sunday
mhm.
off," but
Yeah,
if
well,
uh,
mm,
but anyways, I set aside that just to try their chicken sandwich, and it was worth it. You know,
really.
they might be homophobic, but they know how to make a
I was really
mean
hoping
chicken
it wouldn't be
sandwich.
good, but now I'm
Uh,
gonna have to set my
oh,
issues aside and go check it out.
no, seriously, because also their fries are like waffle fries. They taste like
Oh,
Lay's potato chips. I'm
mm.
telling you, I could eat like a whole bucket of those. I was mesmerized. I had to get out of there quick. Like
I
I
don't think
ate
they
and
have, Chick-fil-A out here. I don't
no, they
think.
don't. No, there's only like 3 or 4 in Toronto. Like
Yeah,
they're slowly because it's US based, right? So they're just
yeah,
slowly working over. But they got the system hacked. Like they're hacking the system. So when you're waiting in line, they
mm.
have people who will come up to you with iPads and say, "Can I help you with your order?" So you order when you're in line. When you get to the register, you pay, and then it's ready for you.
Wow. Oh.
I'm like,
No wonder
they
all the people in the States love them.
it is so fast, so, like, easy, they're so
Mm,
polite, and then they got someone at the front of the line telling you which register to go to, because you know how people sometimes go on their phone, they're not paying attention, holds up the line? Oh,
right.
no. The manager was up there saying, "Oh, could you please head to cash 3? Thanks."
Oh,
Like it was a
nice.
grocery store. I was like, they
Did he call you fag when he did it? "Hey, you fag,
No,
get
I
get free."
I thought I seen some saliva in my sandwich, but I just disregarded.
Would you have just continued just to try the sandwich, or would that have been enough for you to
No, there
go, "No, I can't do this"?
well, if that happened before I tried the sandwich, I would've laughed. But
Oh, okay.
after the
But
sandwich, I
after
would've been like, "Fair. Justified."
Oh my god, that's terrible. We do not endorse that
No,
whatsoever.
we don't. No, no, no,
We
no,
do
no.
like to joke on occasion.
Yeah, we're just shits and gigs, you know?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Some shits and
Um,
gigs.
some shits and gigs. But anyways, I felt bad for throwing out all the plastic containers and wraps that my fast food came in, but it
Hmm.
was almost worth it.
I don't know, I just don't know how like, almost feel like going to the stores now and unwrapping the stuff and
Mhm.
leaving it there. Like, I just and I don't understand why things you get that plastic that would slice your hands off. Like,
Oh,
some things
yes.
are wrapped in that, and you can't. You have to get, like, a knife or scissors to open it, and then it's so close to the item that's inside, like, you can't get in there and pull anything out without cutting yourself. I don't get it. put it in a paper bag. I don't I don't care. I don't.
Just
The
put it
only
in
thing
paper
I
bags.
want sealed is my medication, vitamins that you buy off the counter. That's
Mm.
that's the only one I want with plastic seal on it. The rest of it, I don't care.
So when it comes to your drug supply, it's
Right.
okay.
Well, I read enough, true crime that
Oh.
yeah, that's happened where someone has went and tampered with, like, a gel cap.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah, so that freaks me out.
I just seen today a post saying that this woman watched so many true crime documentaries. She wanted to know what it felt like
Oh
to be a
god.
murderer or something, and then she went out and murdered somebody, and she was
Ah.
just yeah sentenced to life in prison.
Oh,
And I'm just
well,
like,
she didn't learn much.
no, right? I was like, should have watched How to Get Away with Murder. That's what the first thing
Yeah.
you should
Yeah,
have.
like, what?
Follow up series to the true crime docs, How to Get Away with Murder.
Yeah,
Yeah. you
like,
know, common sense isn't that common.
yeah, I don't even get that if she's watched that many. How long did it probably took no time to catch her too, the dummy.
Oh, right? You know what? Next episode, we're gonna talk about common sense
Okay, or
because
we
I
could talk
just
about
can't.
crime and common sense.
Crime and common sense,
I
right?
think that'd
It's
be
just
great.
like,
Mhm.
oh, well, OJ forgot his glove, right? Or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
I heard
if the what is it? If the glove doesn't fit, you must
must
acquit.
have quit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just know that from Nicki Minaj had it in some of her rap lyrics. She'd be like, don't be like OJ and forget your glove. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh my god.
I know, right?
I can't
Hot
believe
topic.
that yeah, that is a hot topic because I can't believe that man is out and walking around, like, that's just incredible. But
Okay.
there is a lot okay, we could get into a lot, so maybe we'll save that for the next one.
So let's wrap up on recycling and then we'll get to OJ.
Okay,
Okay.
alright.
So recycling in both our minds from two different generations, you being from the Flintstone age and me from
Exactly.
and me what am I, Gen Z
I
or
don't know, is that
I
what you
think
are?
so. I think so. Yeah, I'm not a
What am I?
millennial.
Generation
What else?
X?
Well, the one where you still had stone
What
wheels, right?
we're all crazy and you guys don't understand how we're like this, which I don't even get. I don't
Oh,
understand that.
you guys with technology? Mm.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah.
you're not bad. You're not bad.
Well, I think the only reason I'm not that bad is because of my job,
That's
and
true.
so I'm kept in the sorta the loop, like, with, teams, but I get annoyed. Like, they start with some new thing, and I'm like, "Oh my god, just why do you gotta fix something that works?
Right? Don't
Stop.
fix what's broken. Or
What's
don't
not
fix something that's
broken."
not broken, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
for the
and they're
people
always
listening,
fiddling.
what my grandma does for work, she's a computer program hacker, and she'll hack into banks just to test their
Exactly.
security systems, and
Right.
then she does send me lunch money once a month, so and, $6,000 lump sums because that's under the amount that doesn't flag
Anybody
anything.
notices, yeah.
Yeah, uh, but that lasts me about a month,
Yeah,
that's what pays
yeah,
for my Tim Hortons coffees, and,
exactly.
speaking well, let's
Yeah.
wrap up here, and maybe I should quit the Tim Hortons coffees and use a reusable mug, but,
Yes, a reusable pod. I'm
right?
suggesting that. That's coming from a Gen Xer.
Okay, thank you everyone for joining us today on Spill the Tea with Damon B. And we're excited to do our next episode because Graham is obviously going to be on it. So thanks so much, Graham, for being here.
No problem. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Again, I'm your host, Damon B. And I hope you enjoyed spilling the tea with me.